Hi everyone, it's Heidi Smith here. I'm a silver demonstrator based in South Warwickshire, in the middle of the United Kingdom, in the Midlands. And today I'm going to share my sweet inspiration for the You're a Peach sweet. And just to sort of start by saying, Stampin' Up! Have actually in the new catalogue reduced the sweets just 4 components, so that makes them a little bit less expensive for you to buy, but it still means you get that fabulous coordination, but you've then got a basic core of products that you can add to as you go along. So the core of products we've got with this is the Sweet as a Peach stamp set, peach and friendship themed images. I love these. Images and sentiments, always a winner for me. You've also got the Peaches dies, and you can see here what I do is store mine on the inside of my stamp case. I use a little CD pouch to put any spare stamped and die cut images into, and I pop a piece of magnetic sheet in there just to keep everything in place, so that I know where it is. And I draw around my items with our chalk marker, so I always know that I've got my all the dies back in place as well. Stampin' Up! Have also taken on board the suggestion to have the stamped images on the back as well, so you can always see again whether you've got everything back in place. As you can see, mine are already well loved, well coloured. It doesn't affect them being photopolymer, but it does mean that you can layer these up and line them up really, really well. So that's the stamp set, those are the dies. I'm going to go into a bit more detail. What I'm not going to do today is show you quite as many samples. I have done loads and loads of samples, and I'll be sharing those on my blog and my YouTube over the coming weeks. But I thought I'd really focus on what you can do with this a little bit more, and say share some samples too. So the paper that it comes with, this is item number 3 in the suite. It's 12 by 12 paper. So you get 2 sheets each of 6 designs, and on the one side you've got these beautiful images of sort of peach and floral images, and then on the reverse you've got a smaller, more all over pattern. Of these, I love this one on the front. That's probably my least favourite. That being said, I don't mind it. It's fine, but it's probably just my least favourite. I love the blossom, and I love the shading on this as well. I'm going to go through the colours that are in there in a moment, but you can see this is a beautiful kind of watercolour effect image. Lovely balmy blue stripe. Balmy blue is a colour I've struggled to work with a bit, but I love it in here because we've got some shading on it. Really pretty design here, but I adore these calypso coral stripes on the back. Big peach images, and lovely again shading as well, so you've already got sort of shading within your designs. Another floral image with sort of buds, and also picking out the balmy blue as well. This one is sort of swatches from Pear Pizzazz through to Old Olive, and then finally lovely peaches with it on a blue background with a overall blue. And again, that's one of the papers I've probably used less of. So those are the papers, really great. And as you can see here, these are the colours that they coordinate with. So from Petal Pink, Calypso Coral, then to the oranges, Pale Papaya, Mango Melody and Bumblebee, Balmy Blue, Pear Pizzazz and Early Espresso. What I would say is I see Old Olive in there as well. I think that's a really good colour to pop with it as well if you wanted a slightly different shade. And the Early Espresso is really the branches predominantly. So those are our colours, really lovely sort of colour swatch with those. And then on to the stamps themselves. So stamps, we have got, move this out of the way, make it easy for you to see. So what I've done here is I've stamped the sentiments here, and I've actually shown you that which ones layer on top of the peach as well. So the Sweet as a Peach and Have a Peachy Day. 2-part stamps, so you've got a You're As stamp and Sweet as a Peach, and then Thanks for Being As Sweet as a Peach. So you, again, it's this sort of pairing them. You can see you can't even stamp straight on a piece of card. Lovely Happy Birthday, really useful. Bit of masking, you can put that underneath as well, and that will then fit on a peach. Actually, I've done that on one of my cards, forgot to show you that. Thanks so much, always useful. And then we've got, it's your day, happy birthday, it's your day, just a hello. Friend, thanks so much, friend, happy birthday, friend. thanks for being as sweet as a peach. You're as sweet as a peach. To a sweet friend, obviously coordinates, hope your day is as sweet as a peach. So those are the sentiments, and I have, with these, they are distinctive stamps. I should have said that before. That means the texture and shading is already in there. So this is simply stamped with pale papaya. So all I've done is I've just stamped that, and you can see you've already got some gradients of colour as well. The dies that they come with, so these are all the dies cut out. So we have one, a leaf one, we've got the peaches and the flowers. And thing to note about these is it is a single stamp to stamp the peaches and a single stamp to stamp the flowers. And when the die cuts them, they cut out all three. We've got some little flower accents here. So you get all of those, so you get 4 different dies. A big peach and the leaf, the stem, a little sentiment, and then you get the dies to cut these out as well. So you get sort of another 6 little dies. And what those look like, this is a really important bit, is when you put them together. So this is when they come to life. So you can stamp your leaf, and this is your flower stamp with a little accent, and you just line it up and you stamp your leaf, your flowers, add in the centres, and that's a beautiful stamping. And then add to that die cutting the flowers, and you get that sense of dimension as well. And the same leaf coordinates with the peaches. So leaf stamp triple peaches, stamp them on the top, and then by adding in some sponging, you can then create these lovely 2-tone peaches. And then finally at the bottom of the same, so we've got a leaf and a peach, stamp them just together, just straight on top of each other, or die cut them out. And I've used pale papaya and a bit of pumpkin pie. Then the last 2 stamps, which are are lovely for just adding little accents, the little triple flower and a little leaf pair. And that is probably the one stamp I realised I haven't actually used on a project at all yet. So that's the stamp and stamps and dies, but that's how they come together. So I thought it'd be fun to play around with the different colour combinations. So first of all, I've done flowers. So I've put Balmy Blue and Misty Moonlight, and on this I have just simply stamped in solid colours. It's a bit of Fresh Freesia and Highland Heather. So I'm moving away from some of the colours that are in the DSP to show you could use them with any kind of card. Flirty Flamingo and Polished Pink, really sort of bright flowers there. Calypso Coral stamped off and Calypso Coral in the centre. And all of these are with Pear Pizzazz. Bumblebee and Mango Melody, so those are the colours that are in there. Mango Melody sort of doesn't stand out quite so much. I love this one, Mango Melody and Calypso Coral. I think that makes a super flower. And this is, again, one of my favourites, Petal Pink and Calypso Coral. And then Pale Papaya and Calypso Coral, so just to sort of show you the difference. In fact, I'll lay all of those out. And then finally, Petal Pink and Mango Melody, that's another one of my favourites. So I think the pinks are probably my favourites. We've then got some ones with yellows, and then my kind of extra colours at the end there. So it's just a way to show that you don't have to use the colours in the DSP. You can get some lovely effects with those as well. So I thought it was fun to do the same with the peaches and give you some ideas on peaches. So colours we've got, so Pale Papaya and Pumpkin Pie. Pumpkin Pie, not a colour I use very often, but it works so well on this. Petal Pink and Bumblebee, so a different combination, but I rather like that one. This is almost like a golden peach, so some So Saffron and Bumblebee. Pale Papaya and Petal Pink, so just adding a slight subtle shading. Then this is the one I've probably used most of all, Pale Papaya and Calypso Coral, followed by Petal Pink and Calypso Coral. This one I love, Mango Melody stamped off and Calypso Coral. So Petal Pink and Pale Papaya. So I'm going to move these around, so I've got some pinks. So Saffron with Petal Pink, just a hint of pink. And then these two are kind of with techniques in mind. So this one is Pale Papaya and Calypso Coral sponged on it, and then spritzed quite close with some alcohol. So if I show you that in comparison with our ordinary pale papaya and Calypso coral, you'll see the colours blend in a lot more. So you get a much smoother blending, so less of the definition. And then the last one is this one here, which again is pale papaya and Calypso coral. But this time what I did was stamped with Versamark first. So hopefully you can see the shine you get on that peach. And because it's a distinctive stamp, you kind of get a dimpled effect. It's almost of like sort of dewy drops. So those are just of, you know, that's a straightforward stamped one, and then that's with a couple of different stamping techniques used to create slightly different effects. Okay, so those are our then the sort of colour plans. So in terms of samples, obviously this one, you know, if you're an avid crafter, you've got a die cutting machine, it's a fabulous sweet to get. But if you haven't, you can still create some lovely cards. So I've just created a very simple stamped card here, just some stamping and layering and a sentiment. I've then added some of our genial gems to add a little sparkle to step it up. And then you can then go up a level when you add in our dies. So I've used the Stitch So Sweetly dies, and obviously the peach dies as well. So, you know, simple, add a little sparkle, including a little bit of putty, and then die cutting on the end there. And that one, obviously you can do in two ways, because you can do with the flowers and with the peaches. So depending on what you prefer. Okay. Then this is a sample I made at another demonstrators class actually. Again, some simple stamping, simple layers and a bow around there. This one used more of the DSP, probably not what I would normally put together, which I think is when it's really good to actually see what other demonstrators do. So this is one that Julie Kettlewell made. So this is a simple case of one that she made, where we've just got some lovely layers of pear pizzazz adding to that. And in fact, if you gut this back layer, that will create this layer for the front as well. So you can save yourself lots of card. And then finally a little bit of die cutting and panels, just to make a peachy one, and just some stamping on the DSP as well there. Then we're on to the final couple of things in card wise. So this is the card I'm going to do as my make and take. So we'll be creating this card shortly. That'll be a separate video as well. And I've just used some punches here. And then finally, I thought it's about time we use some of the blues. So this is just using some simple layering, and this is using my scraps of paper, and adding on a couple of peaches. And then on the inside I've added a layer, so I've just added some peaches to the inside as well. And then, of course, it wouldn't be me if I didn't do some 3D. So great little piece of 6x6 paper to create a little gift bag, a little turnover at the top, and that's got some Tic Tacs in, hence to a sweet friend. Of course, a Ferrero Friday project, so a little Ferrero tag topper box made to look hopefully a bit like a plant pot with a little hello. And one thing I forgot to mention about the suite is the fourth item is the mini jam jars. Gosh, how did I forget that? These are fabulous. So they are food safe. Obviously, sterilising, you'll want to sterilise probably using tablets rather than putting in the oven with hot water, because you don't want to do that. But these are great. Look. So here I've made a box that holds 2 of these inside, with some bath salts. So I've got some Himalayan bath salts. You can see I've just added a strip of DSP around there to finish it off, and some magnesium bath salts as well in there. So again, just a wider strip. So I've kept it narrow on this one just so you can see the pink, and wider on the plain white bath salts, and then just added a little handwritten note on the top as to what they are. And it's just a straightforward little folding box like so. And then the final one is a gift card holder. Really simple. This is case from another demo. I'm going to say Angie. I'll check. I tell you in my video who it is. I think it's Angie McKenzie, something like that. Stamp inspiration. Anyway, a little bit of pale papaya ribbon, in colour ribbon, just lifts up and simply you've got a lovely, space for a gift card inside. Just makes it look a little bit more special. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I have got loads. I mean, I literally have got loads of samples with these that I'm going to be sharing on my blog and on YouTube, because it's a really lovely stamp set to work with. But I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope it's already started to get you thinking a little bit about what we do with this. And I hope you've enjoyed. So thank you very much, everyone, and enjoy creating with You're a Peach. Bye now.